What is up, Guardian Academy? Another update. It is 12:30:22, and as you get in here, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up. We don't really like blast these out. The attention comes and goes with the market for the most part, and this is really just an update. So all this information is available, just compiling it all and sharing a perspective and some thoughts from the Guardian Academy and from me personally. You can always go through Guardian Academy and ask members their thoughts. They are more than welcome to have different thoughts, and they will. You see this little shield up here, that just means this is public. It's a core concept. We're talking about something that is considered foundational. It's probably a force multiplier, which means if you can understand this, it makes everything else more effective. So it multiplies the effectiveness or the efficacy of everything else you do in the DeFi world or the real world or whatever. So it's a lot of frame shifting and conceptual stuff. But again, if you see this shield, it's foundational, it's free, you can share it, all that stuff. And then obviously as you climb tiers, the videos will have a different shield, and that kind of represents, hey, this is, if you see a gold shield, then it's going to require some base knowledge to understand it, just like any curriculum. In order to understand, chemistry, you have to understand math. So just be aware. And of course, you can look at how all the tiers are structured if you want. I'll leave it there for a second. You could screenshot it. It's everywhere in the Guardian Academy if you want to see it again. The next step would be coming to the Wolfpack and joining these live conversations that are going all the time. But let's get into today's update. And again, see, this just means anybody can consume this, and it should connect for them. Right? There's not a lot of base knowledge necessary. 10 a.m. Pacific today. All times are Pacific when I present them. 10 a.m. Pacific, Inside the Den end-of-year recap. Inside the Den is run by some Guardians of the Guardian Academy. I'm going to show up, and we're just going to talk kind of about what's going on in the world. End-of-year recap 2022, whatever they're asking. I'm just here to answer and hopefully be helpful, give some clarity. Every Monday at 4 p.m., we have Guardians only. It's a little bit of over the shoulder. That's with me. Wednesday, 4 p.m. It's not every Wednesday, 4 p.m., but we have that slot reserved for Matty Dubs with over the shoulder as he's building his crypto tax business, just so you can see, the Guardians can see how he's building it, why he's building it, the decisions he's making, ask questions. And what a gift is having Dr. Jeff Spencer starting next year, which is like next week. Monthly Wolfpack leader and above live. So Dr. Jeff is going to come on at least once a month. We're going to deep dive in some stuff. If you don't know Dr. Jeff, I highly recommend you look at some of his stuff. I will put this link. You can watch this foundational training with Dr. Jeff here. Perhaps the best performance and mindset coach of all time. And you can go look at his bio if you want to, or I introduce him in that video and give his background. All right, so we're going to review the Wolf. This was sent out. This is getting rebranded, so it'll be the Guardian. It'll be on a different platform. If you like having everything in one place and you want to read it instead of watch it like this, go check out the Wolf. Go check out the Guardian Academy Twitter. The announcements are everywhere, but you see here, important change to note. I will put this link in the description. We're moving it to a different platform, and it'll be called the Guardian newsletter. And that's just because Get Review is shutting down, so we can't continue it here. So check it out. That's the best place to go for recaps. Okay, you want everything happen in the ecosystem that we think is important or interesting. Not we, it's actually Wolf Pup number 4782 finds interesting. It's compiled right here. So we can see some of the notes here. Okay, is proud to be one of the first projects listed on Guardian Foundation ecosystem. So we can go here, and you see the press release that Guard has been integrated with Polygon. They've been super communicative. It's phenomenal being teamed up with them. They're just really great. They're great at business development. They're communicative. They're on top of stuff. The technology's great. It doesn't change anything for the BNB side. In fact, the base case still sits on BNB. There's a reason for that. All this activity throughout different exchanges and stuff should actually benefit our base case, right? Just because it drives volume and transaction fees through arbitrage and all that other stuff. our base case still sits on guard BUSD. Yours can be whatever you want. There'll be more base case trainings coming up. Okay. So that's Guard Foundation. We'll come back to Guardian. And then we got the Penguin Posse. This is pretty cool. Over at the Wolf Den, there is a Guardian of the Guardian Academy who launched his own project. And it's these ridiculously hilarious penguins. And so he's a great developer of business. He's done it very well in the past. And the Wolf Den, who is also a publishing company, agreed to help, like, make sure that this was done right, from the get-go. We really thought through everything in exchange for whitelisting or airdropping all the wolf pup holders. So we're going to see this over and over. If you have a wolf pup, you're going to get whitelisted, you're going to get airdropped, you're going to get all that stuff as people add to the ecosystem. Not from us, but from the other people adding, right? And so these are sitting on Polygon. And the cool thing about these sitting on Polygon is the way this is structured. I don't know if it's in the description here. It is not. Is the royalties are 5%. Okay, 2.5% is going to a donation fund, and every quarter, Penguin holders will vote where they want to send that fund. The other half is buying back Guard, okay, on Polygon. So it's great. It puts buys on Guard for you Guard holders, or for anybody base casing. It's still going to run volume through, even on BNB, through arbitrage. But the real thing that is recurring is the people that know how the Guardian Foundation is built and the mission. If they have an aligned mission, it's really what it's about. It's about the purpose. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second, because everybody's so worried about trying to get rich quick that they're not thinking about the function of blockchain. Like, what is this actually doing for the world? Excuse me. So half the royalties go to donation, half the royalties are purchased by the Penguin Posse Club so that they have Guard in their treasury to participate in the governance vote, the direction of a much larger collaborative interoperable ecosystem. And so if projects like the Penguin Posse continue to want to participate in the Guard Foundation ecosystem, then these projects are acquiring Guard in order to have influence on the ecosystem vote, right? The governance. Generally speaking, projects will have much larger holdings than individual retail investors, but it's the whole point is that some projects will do really, really well, some won't, et cetera, et cetera. If they're built on the Guard Foundation ecosystem, they can decide to acquire Guard however they want to acquire Guard, business activity, accepting Guard as a payment, automatic buys, royalties, whatever they want to do, which will allow them to participate in governance, which will be broken down later. Our team is still working really hard on bulletproofing the governance structure and getting some people in place that can govern the governance, essentially, because that is an essential piece of governance. Make sure that nobody can propose something and then have it passed if it is illegal, for example. So governing the governance is a thing, but it's got to be done appropriately. So Guardian Foundation is working on that. So penguins, they're pretty awesome. They're on Polygon. It was like I minted 100 of them. Guardian me personally minted like 100 of them. Guardian Academy, I think, minted a bunch. The Wolf Den minted a bunch. It was like $1.20 to mint a whole bunch because it's on Polygon. And again, this is my opinion, if you are a wolf pup holder, which many Guardian Academy students are, if Penguins does well, remember that wolf pup holders got free penguins airdropped as a gift. So if Penguins does well, wolf pup holders benefit. Remember that the royalties are buying Guard. So if you're a Guard holder, Penguins doing well benefits you. If you're a Penguin holder, Penguins doing well benefits you. See how that works? So again, but I'll talk a little bit about how I think about this and how Guardian Academy is going to recommend you think about this. Okay. Capstone projects, these are amazing. Adaptive Dilemma, that's the focus of the week. So you can go there, check that out. Everybody in the Guardian Academy that is participating in the curriculum should be going through Adaptive Dilemma, leaving 6-word updates. And this is what a lot of the conversations will be about, which is basically tech improves exponentially, okay? But the problems we have improve incrementally, if at all, and there's a reason for that, and I call it the Adaptive Dilemma. So the video is there in the curriculum. See here, you can always opt in and get the syllabus, so it's all nice and organized for you, or you can kind of go your own adventure and consume it however you want. The link to get the syllabus will also be in the description. And you can read, watch, or listen. So now there's every article has a video embedded, and the audio is stripped out and sent over to the podcast. You can go find the podcast right here in the Wolf, and I'll put a link to the Wolf down there too. Frequency of exposure, how often should we be looking at data? Dopamine is a universal currency, and should I even be in crypto? This is a great video to show people that maybe are trying to get into crypto, but they're not quite sure what to do. It's a great question to ask. It's not, the game, in my opinion, is not to get everybody into crypto. Okay, that's not good. If you get something into something they're not ready for, it's more likely that they panic or they hurt themselves and they do damage, and that actually makes it a much longer road to adoption, right? So the game is really try not to get people hurt, which means if they're not ready, then they probably shouldn't come into the space. Pushing them into something they're not ready for increases, chance of something bad happening, and something bad happening makes it a longer road to adoption. All right, so Inside the Den podcast later today, I already talked about that. Random giveaway. We are giving away people that participate. So we're looking for people that are participating, giving 6-word updates, actually doing things to learn themselves, implementing things, and then sharing with the community. These are completely random. They're variable. There is no schedule for it. So nobody can rig the game to try to win. That's not what we're about. We really just like people that are actually going through the process to get better. Those are the ones we want to reward. So they're variable rewards. And, of course, Dr. Jeff Spencer, Human Mentalities, just went live yesterday. This is one of the most important, powerful trainings. It's going to be required before you actually join into the Wolf Den. But this is public, so I strongly recommend you watch it. And there's some resources here that you can go down as well if you want to consume more from Dr. Jeff. Again, he's going to be contributing to the Guardian Academy. I talk to him almost every day, but he'll be coming on monthly at minimum. All right. So hopefully that all makes sense. Reviewed the Wolf, understand kind of penguins. The Wolf Den just published the Penguin Posse. It's not a Wolf Den project, but the Penguin Posse did gift penguins to Wolf Den members in exchange for the help. And they do buy guard with the royalties because of the potential for exponential growth through governance, meaning if multiple projects want to row in the same direction, we can use collective power to build something much greater than what any individual project could do. That's the point of the Guardian Foundation, is to have a currency which is designed. It's not even a currency. It's like a governance asset that is designed to do good in the world. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Again, orient yourself in the online world. This came up a few times, and people are struggling with it, and we're having conversations about it in the Wolf Den. We had morning coffee that I dropped into yesterday inside of the Wolf Den. And, so I'm on the Guardian Academy channel, but I dropped into the Wolf Den, and that's confusing for people. All right. So, in an online world, there's a really heavy focus on form over function, especially with technology. And we're not contextualizing real world behaviors appropriately. So let me tell you what I mean. Sometimes people will be like, how does the Wolf Den and the Guardian Academy fit together? How do penguins fit in there? Or you might say, how are you in, this community? How are you in Bored Ape and also Guardian Academy? As if they're competitors or something, but they're not. The thing is, people are getting stuck on the form. But it's an NFT and a Discord, so they're the same. Well, that's not true. Okay, so imagine it's like if you go to night classes to, get your master's degree or your PhD, and then you go to a coffee shop with your friend, and then you go to a nightclub, and then you go home and hang out with your kids. If you think about the form, it's not like, how do those all fit together? Because you're going into a building, so they're all the same. Well, contextually, they're not. We know that we behave differently in a nightclub with our friends than we do with a bunch of other students in class. And we behave differently coffee with, our church group than we do when we're at home with our kids. They're not competing. This is all just part of life. It's how you behave. And there's different contextual clues that tell us, like, okay, because I'm here, this is how I behave. These are my really close friends. They've been my friends since, for 20 years. We have inside jokes. Whereas when I go out to a club, there's no inside jokes. These are all strangers, but we still have fun. We dance and drink and whatever. Hey, those are different environments. And so in a Web 3 world, a Web 2 world, the internet in general, our brains have a much harder time because there's not the same contextual clues. It's like, this is a Facebook group, this is a Facebook group, this is a Facebook group. But they're all different. Like the context and the behavior is very likely to be different. Like a Facebook group about marketing is different than a Facebook group about being a parent. Right? The conversations are different. So it's not like how do they fit together? Well, I market and I'm a parent. So these are completely separate things. They serve separate roles. They have different functions, even though the form is the same. Facebook group, Discord, NFT. The function is different. And so we need to orient ourselves to think function over form to get the most out of an online world, especially Web 3 world, because so people are so stuck on the tools. Anytime someone goes, it's an NFT project, they're not thinking function. They're not thinking about, like, does this actually fit in my life and my behavior? They're thinking about buying NFTs, and that's okay. But as long as NFT projects are NFT projects, they're not going to really scale. Because, again, we go, I'm going to go to my parents' night. I don't go, it's a building. Yeah, it's a building, right? We don't focus on the form. We focus on the function. I go spend time with parents every Friday night or whatever. So if you have this example, Jane, she's a mom of 3. She's in a lot of parent groups with parents from their kids' school, and they meet at the coffee shop a couple times a week. They just get together and, no kids. Maybe they complain about their husbands or their spouses or, their wives or whatever. And that's what they do. It's just conversations that they wouldn't have unless they were with these other moms that also understand everything going on at school. So they do that. Jane has a Costco membership. Once a week or every other week, she goes to Costco. And she needs a Costco card to get in, obviously, and she likes to buy bulk for her family because it makes sense. Went to University of Texas, loves football, used to love going to games, wears a ton of University of Texas gear, donates to the university. She's super successful, so they ask her to come give speeches. She might teach some classes and goes to as many games as possible. And she gets the University of Texas newsletter and reads it just to see what's going on with her alma mater, right? So that's Jane. Her and her spouse also have a yacht club membership. And, a couple times a month, maybe a couple times a week, they go out for, I was supposed to say wine. They go out for wine. Oh, dinner. I was supposed to say dinner. I'm wrong. Dinner. Drinks, comedy night. They go do karaoke. It's an exclusive club where they know everybody there is affluent, which, maybe some of their friends aren't. So this is kind of like, hey, we have a new life. These people are like-minded. We don't have long-standing relationships with them, but we can relate to them. And we can have fun and talk about things that only, people in this yacht club can really relate to. That still makes sense. Go to her house, you're going to find beautiful art. Again, they're affluent, so maybe it's not surprising, but they have beautiful fine art and antiques. And during football season, Jane likes to participate in fantasy football with or against her husband and his friends. Okay, this is not unusual. This is not confusing. This is just a normal life. Is it typical? I don't know. Everybody's got their own thing, but we don't go like, But where does the Costco membership fit in? And how does the yacht club relate to the moms group? Those are weird questions. Those are very strange things to ask because we have the context. So when it's like, where does Guardian Academy and the Wolf Den How do they fit together? The reason you would ask that question is you haven't identified the function of the thing to you in your life, right? Because, well, they're both Discord groups and they both need NFTs, so they're the same. Well, no, because this is a group, right? This is a group of people in a building, and this is a group of people in a building, but they're not the same. They have a different function in your life. Okay? So it's really helpful to really contextualize and find context clues. Like, you can't, if you treat every Telegram the same, or every Discord the same, you're just hurting yourself. You're not getting the benefit for you, right? Like, what function does this serve in your life? Maybe the Wolf Den's a place you come hang out, and you know that you get all kinds of really cool benefits for upcoming projects, and that's what it is to you. Great. And Guardian Academy is where you go to learn and develop and share with others, part of the learning process. Great. Those are two entirely separate things, right? Just like your alma mater and your yacht club are two entirely separate things, and they don't conflict with each other. You can wear, you could have like a gym bag that has a yacht club logo on it, kind of a sign of like, yeah, I'm part of this. You know, it's identity. It feels good to do that. And also wearing a University of Texas sweatshirt, there's no conflict there. Why would there be conflict? So anybody that's arguing over like what NFT project's better than another is not thinking function. They're not. You could say, well, this club is better than that club. Well, now you're thinking function. Sam's Club is better than Costco. Now we're thinking function. So Sam's Club and Costco, there's a little overlap there, right? But not between Costco and being a fan of Texas, University of Texas. So think function over form. I hope that makes sense. So we need to frame shift to function over form to get the most out of the online world, but especially a Web3 world, because there's so few forms. Everything kind of takes the same form, but it has very different functions. Now, over time, the forms will change. Things will look very different. And look for contextual clues. Like, how is this built? What is this built for? What is the utility to me? How in this context, what makes sense to behave? If you have the Guardian Academy, which has a structured curriculum, right? It's very different than the Wolf Den, which is like just a club to hang out. So you can think, like, what's the appropriate way to behave so that, one, I get the most out of this, and two, everybody's like, it makes sense to everybody. So again, having an alma mater, a parent social club, a Costco membership, a yacht club membership, collecting art for your home, and playing fantasy football, an exclusive or a wide open league, is not strange or conflicting from a behavior standpoint. And that's all that matters, by the way, is our behavior, right? Back to the adaptive dilemma. We're always thinking about tools, but what changes our life is our behavior. So from a behavior standpoint, it could make sense to be in 10 different Web3 projects. You can call them NFT projects, but by doing so, you're like fundamentally kind of robbing yourself of the function. Like, you could be in 5 different clubs, and each club has a different function for you. One is all women, one is all parents, one is all art collectors. It would make sense to be in all 3 of those clubs. One is all University of Texas alum. So that's 4 different clubs you could be in. But you're in these clubs. You're not in 4 different, like you might have a Costco membership and a Sam's Club membership, because Sam's Club is closer and sometimes you don't want to drive all the way to Costco. Okay. So you have 2 different memberships because they serve 2 different functions, but you're not like, I have 2 membership cards, because it's not about the cards. Not just collecting membership cards, they have a function. That's how a lot of NFTs are functioning right now. It's not that you have 4 different NFTs. If they're all clubs, you have access to 4 different things. Okay, so it's the function. I hope that makes sense. It's going to take a while to kind of really for the space to evolve in a way where the function and form are distinct. Because again, everything is, for the most part, NFT, Discord, coins. They all have different functions. Some of them don't. Some of them are just forks, right? But conceptually, they should all have different functions, utilities. And we're going, what coin should I buy? What NFT should I buy? Should I buy that NFT? Well, I don't know. Should you buy a Sam's card? If you want bulk and you can drive there, like, yeah, sure, if it makes sense. So hopefully that is helpful. Hopefully it makes sense. Jump on into the Guardian Academy, Wolf Den, or anywhere else, wherever you are. Just, I encourage you to think about the function of the thing you're doing and how it kind of fits in your life. It doesn't have to be money for money. You don't cheer on University of Texas, read their newsletter, hoping that it's going to be worth more later, right? There's a value to you intrinsically. So is there an intrinsic value? That's fine. The blockchain world is not money for money. That can absolutely be a way you participate, but again, you're missing some of the most beneficial aspects of it. Okay. All right, go check out the Wolf. Subscribe to the New Guardian, and you can check out the Guardian Foundation tweets if you want, because this. All right. There's a thread with updates on the Guardian Foundation, and that thread is going to keep getting updated as announcements come out from collaborators, people we've teamed up with, and partners, and so on and so forth. That's it. Remember, live to learn, give to earn. If this is beneficial to you at all, you can share it, or you could put it in your own words, give a different perspective, anything like that. It's all helpful. Okay. Appreciate you.